Welcome back, guys. Today we are talking all about eyebrows. I'm going to show you how you can create perfect brows every time in just 3 steps. I'll show you how you could take kind of wimpy looking, kind of sad looking brows and create beautiful, natural, full looking brows. Let's get started. Here is the before one more time. So you could see that the shape is pretty weak. There's a lot of spots that are missing hair, and I also get a lot of hair that grows in daily. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna work on cleaning up the shape of the brows and then filling them in to create beautiful, full, natural brows. Using an eyebrow brush, you definitely wanna use one that has a spoolie on the end. This is essential for this. You wanna start by brushing up all the hairs just to get an idea of what you're working with. Right away, first thing I notice is that on the left brow, the hair is a little bit thicker at the arch and it goes down a little bit lower, but on the right eye, there's no hair there, so the arch is a lot higher. So I'm going to clean up my brows to make sure that they both match perfectly. Start by taking a pencil or a brush and you're going to line that up to the side of your nose all the way up to your brow. And right there, you're going to take a brush with a little bit of concealer on it and mark the spot. That's exactly where your brow should start. Next, you're going to take that brush again and from the side of your nose right through your pupil. That right there is where your arch should begin. So you're going to mark that also with the concealer. And then the last step is take the brush from the side of your nose to the outer corner of your eye, and that is where your eyebrow should end. So mark that with the concealer as well. This is our guide, and now we're going to go in and connect the dots. Taking that same brush, I'm just using an angle brush here, but you could use whatever you want, maybe something flat. With a bit of concealer, I'm going to connect the first section, so the front of the brow to the arch. So basically just drawing a line to connect both sections. Same thing from the arch to the tip of the brow. We're going to connect those two parts together, top and bottom. Now, I don't personally pluck the top of my brows at all, but that's just a personal preference. I like letting that hair grow as much as possible to create a really full look, but I am going to trace that shape with the concealer to get an idea of what the final brow is going to look like. Anywhere that has concealer, that's where we're going to pluck. That's how we're going to clean up our brows and to get that perfect shape and to make sure the shape matches the other eye. Let's do the same thing on the left eye. So line up the brush at the side of your nose. Line up the brush from the side of your nose through your pupil, and that is where the arch of the brow should be. Line up your brush from the side of your nose to the outer corner of your eye, and that's where your eyebrow should end. Now that our eyebrows are done, you could see the shape is pretty much identical and it's time to pluck. So anywhere that there is concealer, we're going to pluck the hairs. This is going to be our guideline. This is going to help us make sure that we don't overpluck or underpluck, and it's going to really make sure that both shapes are even and look the same and nothing goes crazy. And that's it. Once the plucking is done, you're just going to wipe off all that concealer with a makeup wipe, and now it's time to fill in our brows. So we're starting off with perfectly groomed brows, and yes, the shape still looks really sad and really weak, but we're going to fix that right now. For this part, we're going to use the 3-step system again. This is your guide, guys. This is what's going to make your eyebrows look perfect every single time. So I'm taking the Brow Stylist pen from L'Oreal. This is a great eyebrow pencil, and lining it up to the side of my nose and creating a little line right at the beginning. Now you want to make sure that you're not going all the way to the outer part of your nose. That is way too far in. Your eyebrow should not start there. You're going to the side of your nostril. This is really important because that's where your eyebrow should start. And now we're going to create a little line on where the arch of our brow is. So start from the side of your nose right through your pupil and create a little dot right there, and that is our point. And then same thing, you're going to line up the pencil from the side of your nose to the outer corner of your eye, and that is where the eyebrow should end. Once we have those dots as our guide, now we're gonna go in and fill. I'm using small little strokes and I'm connecting the front of my brow where I drew that initial first line and bringing that all the way up to the arch. And because we have that mark there where the arch is, that's going to give us an idea of what the highest point of your eyebrow should be. I also just push down the hairs a little bit so I can kind of fill in underneath. So once you brush the hairs back up, it'll look very natural. I like to always work with the spoolie back and forth as I do this because it really helps you take a look and see what is going on. Once the first part of your brow is done, then you're going to start to connect the arch to the tip or the end of your brow. And that little dot, that little mark makes such a difference because it lets you know how far you should extend the length of your brow, and this helps you really get that right shape. So to thicken the ends and to make them look nice and full. Once I have that initial shape, I like to take a little fluffy brush and just softly kind of get rid of those little marks, just blend them out, diffuse them so they're not obvious at all, and basically they just disappear. And that's how your eyebrows should look after it's filled in. You could see the difference between the left and right. It still looks really natural, but it's a nice full brow. So we're going to do the same thing for the other side. We're going to connect the dots starting from the front of our brow and towards the arch. The great thing about this system is that because of these little marks, these little dots that you created, it makes filling in your brows so simple. You could fill in with a powder or a cream or a pomade or a gel, whatever you want, but the concept is the same. It's just connecting the dots. If you are using a pencil or a brush or whatever it is, make sure you're using small little strokes to create that look of natural hairs. Once the eyebrows are filled in, you can go in with a little bit of concealer on your brush just to clean up underneath. You don't have to do this step if you don't want to, but if you want to get a good sense of the true shape of your brows, this definitely helps. So just a little bit of concealer right underneath your brows, and that'll give you an idea of what the final shape looks like. The last step that I love to do is adding brow gel. This is a great way to add texture to your brows because after you fill them in, they can sometimes look a little bit fake. So adding the texture from a brow gel is going to make them look a lot more natural. The gel makes it look as if you have little hairs. So that is the final step for getting these full natural looking brows. Those are my tips on how to groom your brows, how to fill them in and go from kind of wimpy looking brows to full natural beautiful brows. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you are new to my channel, and I will see you guys again in another video very soon.